Okay, so much of innovation is happening in HR tech space. So I'll highlight some of them. So one is like the use of bots. Okay, the chat bots, the voice bots. Okay, the employees now want to engage with the bots in terms of doing the transactions, in terms of getting insights. So they want to speak and get things done, or they want to chat. Okay, like applying a leave, or they want to go, they want to mark their attendance, or they want to look at some policies. I think this is something which you're seeing a major change, which is happening in this space. So second is on the analytics side. Like, so earlier we used to talk about like, analytics is required. Now everyone is talking about predictive intelligence, okay, in terms of like how we can show the trends, how we can give some alarms, how we can tell them like what needs to be done. So a lot of focus on this side, which we see. And third area is like on the sentimental analysis, or I'll say health and safety of the employees. Okay, pandemic has changed a lot. Okay, so what we have seen here is like companies want to track the incidents like if someone is infected with COVID and the quarantine periods, then the vaccinations, when they return to office, have they been done? They've gone through the 2 rounds of vaccination, the booster dose and all those things. So I think there's a lot of investments which is happening on this side. So in case something happens now, comes up next, companies are very, very well prepared on that side. And on the other side, like reading the sentiments of the employees by running surveys. And if some corrective actions needs to be taken, I think this is another one. And lastly, a movement to the cloud. Like earlier in the pandemic time when there were lockdowns, customers really struggled to run their systems. And they have now what they're looking at is migrating the systems to the cloud. Okay, this is another major shift we are seeing in the market.
Well, I see there is no emerging talent strategy. It has to be sticking to basics, but how you explain the candidate, it's in WIPM, what's in it for me? It's actually a game changer. So candidate always looks forward that what is he getting? What is the value proposition that he has while joining an organization? So you have to be very clear what you are explaining to a candidate and what you require. And obviously show him a growth path, not a false growth path. You should have some success stories always behind it. Like in our organization, we have enough. All my senior leadership, like 95% of my senior leadership is internally grown. So you have to actually show them, and then they obviously will get attracted. And not to forget is obviously the compensation part, the total rewards. You have to really divide the total rewards in such a way that you should have a short-term as well as long-term retention plan. Yeah. Short-term could be a joining bonus, could be some other perks, and long-term could be an ESOP kind of thing. So that works. That has worked for us for sure.
Okay, so I think I'll say, we come across many organizations, who have changed their HR technology in 3 times in 3 years, right? So a very, very common thing. Okay, so what is, I'll say like, one need to look at it from a 3 years, 5 years, 10 years perspective. Okay, so one need to look at it like if they're going to scale, if they're going to grow bigger and bigger. So are they looking from that perspective? Okay, one very important thing is like, are you laying a single unified umbrella for everything from hire to retire? Okay, because that is where your user experience will come in terms of your mobile layer, in terms of your analytics layer, in terms of your chatbots and everything. So to make them happen, you need to have a unified layer. So even if you start small, from one area or 2 areas, but look at it from a larger perspective, like sooner or later, you're going to move everything to one single cloud to get the benefits. So second is like, maybe today you may be in India, okay, so maybe tomorrow you're going to expand to multiple countries. Okay, look at it like whether the OEM can support you in those respective geographies. Do they have resources? Do they have experience in those to meet the compliances and all those things? A very important area which some of the customers we have seen misses out, and later they realize on this front. And third is, even if you may be 10,000 employees right now, tomorrow, you look at it like you're going to be 30,000, 50,000, maybe 3 years, 5 years down the line. So look at it holistically, okay, and then take your decisions. And lastly, I'll say like, while you buy good technology and you choose a good partner, look at it like, do you really have a change management? You've taken factor in that, because a lot of projects fail when you don't plan for change management well. Okay, so I think these are some of the high level factors which can really, make the project successful.
I think my biggest advice would be make a listening organization. Yeah, enough of saying, listen to employees, what they want. And once you listen to them, act on it pretty fast, and keep them informed that what you have been doing. Listening is one, but obviously acting it, resolving whatever you get is obviously will give you some extra brownie points. Over and above that, I would say have transparency in the organization. Yeah, so something that is working for us is that even our appraisal system is so transparent that from an executive to a CXO, whatever they get is open. Yeah, not on percentage wise, but yes, on the rating wise, and how are they rated, what are the factors that has been considered. So that transparency and obviously making a listening organization, I think would be two great mantras.